Hello and welcome to this channel where I talk about trading in the crypto market. I am going to show you guys how I enter these trades, what I look for before entering the trades, and most importantly, some of the rules that I never break. Welcome back. So today I am going to be picking up where I left off, and of course if you guys listened to me the last time, it looks like you guys were able to enter the same trades that I did. Oh wait, let me bring that back if I can. Yeah, this one specifically, I marked out two possibilities of BTC, but clear method on how we can be able to profit from these trades. Now I predicted if remember this here is one big zone, right? It's a zone. So what I'm trying to say here is one price broke out, but the only difference is looking at this chart right here. I did not expect price to break out so quickly. Right, it broke out quickly and came back down. I expected price to do a little trading, come back, and then come back down. That's what I expected. Go out, break out, and then come back down. But as we can see, now we can delete this. Price went up here, came back down to test, went up, and it's still testing, then broke out, then that was the sign. So I entered my trade right here. When price came out, then right away when price broke out, I had an alert. And right from that alert, I put an entry point right there with a 50% break. 50% stop loss, sorry. So my entry right there would have been with this here. This was my entry, with the 50% stop loss. And then 1.5 as usual. 1.5, right? So I actually made my money here, right here. That's how that was my trade. And then, so I wanted to walk you guys through the next process on how we should look at a trade like this. But keep in mind, boys, sometimes it's always impossible to tell when price is gonna move the way it is, but it is possible to predict where price is going. So like I did a while ago, I predicted that price was gonna break out eventually, like go on the upper side, right? But the only difference is that price did not go out the exact time that I predicted. I had predicted it to be a little bit in the future, like a day later, at least minimum, but it broke out like right away. It broke out and came back inside. So what I'm trying to say is, now that price really broke out, I entered a trade and I stuck by to my bias and I made the gain. So that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Like, biases are one of the most important things in this trading system that every single trader should have. So moving on, let me just get rid of all of these arrows at the moment. So that was, I think, our most recent box. It came up, broke back in, right? So this is our next box right here. So now price broke out, came back into test and broke out that way. So now this is your next box. Every single one of these trades you can keep that in mind. So now price broke out here, came back into test right there, right here. Let me walk you guys through this specific area. You guys might be a little bit confused. So this is the breaking point. I'm gonna remove this box for now. Here you can see price broke out here, tested, or if you didn't even want to take it here, tested down here, right, and then broke out. So what would you do? You'd enter right when price broke out. Your entry point would be right here. Maybe this did not get filled. Maybe this did not get filled. It would have gotten filled right here. So your stop loss would be right at the bottom of this, right there, right? Let me get rid of this because you guys might be thinking this here, this line here, this was the zone that we were looking at. So that would have been my entry point at this entry. Stop loss right at the bottom with a 1.5. Oh wait, sorry, that's a selling position. I'm talking about long here. Stop loss right at the bottom right there with a 1.5 gain right there. So I got filled here. Keep in mind also the way like I feel that you guys should trade, and actually I'll just share with you how I trade mainly. So what I do is, a lot of what I do is not on the spot entry, not on the spot exit, none of that. I have stop losses, I have entry points, and I have a 1.5 gain ratio. That's it. I do not go anything past that. So this here is a pretty sweet little gain that we had. It's almost like, what was that? Almost 4 or 5%, depending on the amount of leverage you use. You would have gained about that much as well. That was a good gain that we had. So now let's move forward from there. So from here, price broke out, came back and tested. So now this here is our next box, right? Let's just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, okay? So from that, it's clear that there's not much going on anymore, right? So what should we do? We have to look at the top now. The top is from here till here, right? This is the top right here. So now based on the top, price broke out. It did come back into test. So if that's what you wanted to enter, you would have made gains right there, right? But the problem with that specifically, you do not know if that is a 1.5 or not. Because this right here is already just a 1. A 1.5 would have to be all the way down here. So you might have lost, unless you did, of course, a 50%. If you did a 50%, you still would not get 1.5. 1.5 would be right here. So this is something if you guys would want to entry. But I would consider this is a, but also, like, of course, now that price is not filled yet, this is, you put your stop loss at the top, 1.5 is down here. So what we're gonna do, wait, because it's not even close. You guys are still in profit if you enter this trade specifically. You could have entered here specifically, in this zone, that yellow zone right there, or you could have entered right here, this zone. You got two options, those two yellow zones right there. Let me delete this so you guys will. So from that, what I'm trying to say is, you can choose either one. I mean, actually, sometimes it depends more on how quick you are, or mainly, I guess, how you would like to, you know, go through this. So from here, yeah, you're still gonna be in the trade. I'm not in this trade. I just want you guys to know, because I did not manage to get in, but I probably would have. I would have actually if I just was paying attention during this specific time period, but I wasn't. So after this, now we will see that the price broke down, right? It did not completely finish my 1.5, but yeah, so now you would just wait for the next like price movement. But personally, if you look at this here, it's a more valid entry point on the second break-in right here. This is a more valid entry point. So now with that being said, price broke in. So now that it broke in, we're going to look for price to slam back down. But now that price broke out and came back in, this is our next box right here. This is our next box. So the only way we will make a trade, money from a trade, is if price goes down here. If it breaks down, we're going to expect it to come back in and sell down. But unless, so this is what we can do. Now we can snipe our entry point. We can put our stop loss right above this, just because we know if it goes above, we're expecting a more bullish trend, right? And of course, if we look at like long term, it is arguably still bullish. So you would not want to get into big positions when on a sell. So that's like my point that I wanted to prove with this specific area. Look for ways on how you can lessen, or not even lessen, but get a sharper stop loss point. Even entries, honestly. If you guys want me to explain this part more, I would be more than happy to. Look, okay, let me just explain one more time. When price broke out here, this one, price broke out, right? And it came back into test here. Because this here is the ment box. This whole thing here is the ment box, right? So price came out, came back into test. Now we're expecting price to shoot downwards. But we are in a bullish trend. But of course we can expect a BOS. No problem with that. But now that price broke out and came back in, this is now our next box, right? So now price is trading within the box. So what's going to happen is, from here, you were already in a short from the trade before, from this box, right? Which is from here. Now you can lessen your stop loss point, because you know that once price breaks above this, honestly, you're gonna feel like, oh wait, we might be number bullish, and you would be more confident in that bullish trade for the sole reason that even price structure is on a bullish trend. So with that being said, now that my stop loss is this low, and of course my profit would still remain at the previous 1.5, which was, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere down here. It's going to remain that way. So now this becomes a 3.5 ratio W if we manage to get that. But now, if you really think about it, if price breaks through this, you have a stop loss ready, sniped, and you're safe. Like, you basically lost nothing, which is one of the biggest positives of trading this way, which is solely the box method. Of course, once in a while, I do like to mark out long-term supply and demand zones just so that I can be more sure on where I see price bouncing back with a more, not guaranteed, but with a more like probability in terms of price movement. But other than that, I guess I just want to give you guys a quick little price prediction on where I see price going. I know I will try to be uploading a lot more often nowadays, and so I'll see you guys in the next one.